Welcome back to Regulate Your Nervous System. I am Maria Brown, and if you have been feeling frustrated or upset with yourself, unmotivated in getting tasks done that you want to or need to get done for work, and you just feel kind of stuck, this episode is for you, so stick around.
Hey, it's Maria Brown. Turn the volume up now. We're dialing in your day from the inside out. Regulate your nervous system. Let's go. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel the rhythm. Oh, from stress to steady, watch you listen and grow with Maria Brown on the mind body flow. Regulate your nervous system.
So if you're getting frustrated because you're not following through on goals that you've set for yourself or tasks that you need to get done, and no matter what you do, you just can't get the thing done. It has nothing to do with being lazy. It doesn't matter what anybody says. No judgment. It's not a laziness thing. It is actually a nervous system dysregulation event that's happening in your life. And motivation is not really a mindset problem. It's a body set problem. So when we get our nervous system in a state where it feels safe and it feels calm, then significant shifts happen in your brain that allow you to take inspired action and have this creative thought process and find clarity and focus. And it all comes down to the nervous system. So I talk a lot about your nervous system being in fight or flight, right? That's the sympathetic nervous system being activated. And today I'm going to go a step further and I'm going to talk a little bit about fight, flight, and freeze. We're going to focus on the freeze because when we are unable to do the thing, to get the task done, or we're feeling unmotivated, it's because we're in this state of freeze. And so what puts us in this state of freeze? Well, fight or flight is a survival mechanism built into our evolutionary biology in order to survive, right? So survival mode. But when we freeze and we completely shut down, it's a stress response. It's literally the first stages of a trauma response. And so that freeze just means that our nervous system is so overtaxed that we are not giving ourselves permission to slow down enough, and we're pushing and pushing and pushing, maybe to meet deadlines, maybe because it's work and it's family and there's social life and there's all these things that we're trying to be present for. And when our nervous system is dysregulated, honestly, you can't be present for any one thing. So we're going to investigate this whole freeze mechanism in our nervous system, and I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks and some breathing techniques and movement techniques that will allow you to recalibrate. So when we think about this freeze mode or not being motivated or not getting the thing done, it doesn't always look like doing nothing. It can look like scrolling. It can look like busying, like doing all these small tasks or things that are not leading you towards the end goal. And it can also look like overthinking, right? When we overthink things instead of just acting and doing, it allows that procrastination process to continue. And so here's the thing, when you force the motivation to take place by increasing caffeine or just pushing through, even when exhaustion is preventing you from thinking clearly, your body takes that on as a significant stress response, and it becomes a vicious cycle so that the next task that comes along, it feels overwhelming. And your body remembers, it keeps the score. It remembers that stressful feeling and immediately starts to shut down because it's going to safety. It's in protection mode for you. And freeze is what allows you to self-regulate in a way that's not productive. But here's a way you can shift that patterning or do a pattern interrupt, and it's by celebrating. If you just take one small step, instead of thinking about all the steps that have to be taken to get to that end goal, one small step, celebrate. And I'm going to teach you some techniques right now to help you shift so that you can get to that point of truly celebrating. So the first one is the extended sigh. And as long as you're breathing correctly, diaphragmatically breathing, where the belly expands on the inhale and then contracts on the exhale, it's a double inhale with a long extended sigh. So it looks like this. And each time try and lengthen the inhale so that the two breaths are separated, and then lengthen that exhale sigh. And that'll shift you into the rest and digest mode really quickly. Another one is humming or the Brahmi breath. And that's a great one because it stimulates and activates all of the cranial nerves, which then sends impulses to all other parts of your body. But it's really fun. You take your thumbs and you just press into your ears. You close off your eyes and you just do an extended hum. So it looks like this. Hum. And it's crazy. You feel the vibration all around you. And you can see colors too sometimes. So that's just activating different parts of your brain and bringing you out of fight, flight, freeze mode and directly activating the vagus nerve, which is the longest nerve in your autonomic nervous system in the parasympathetic, the rest and digest side. And that nerve is connected to every single organ system in your body. So, when we're totally stressed out, we feel it in our gut, we feel it in our chest area. And the vagus nerve, when you activate it to the point where it's receiving that safety mode, it's sending good impulses and energy to the rest of your organ system, and your whole body is sensing a feeling of safety. And that's really the goal. The next technique is going back to rhythmic breathing, 4-4, 5-5, where you're diaphragmatically breathing and closing your mind and visualizing the tasks at hand and seeing as if you're in this movie watching yourself completing the task till you are at the end and it's done, and connecting with what that feels like in your body when you have completed the task, and celebrating each point along the way. And that final celebration could be like, okay, so I'm done. You get this feeling of relief, like a weight's been lifted off of you. And maybe that means you have more time with your children, your family, your partner. Maybe it means you have more time the next day that you can schedule that massage you've wanted. Maybe it just means that you get to go socialize with friends that you haven't had time to see because you've been procrastinating. So celebrate, feel what that celebration looks like, and pat yourself on the back for getting there. When you see it, when you've already lived it, it makes it so much more attainable. Your brain doesn't know if you've actually really done it or not. It perceives that you've already done it. And so the chemistry in your brain changes. It's amazing. So try that. And then the last one is really important for the morning. In the last episode, we talked about how morning spikes in cortisol can dysregulate the way your sleep patterns are that evening. If you have awakened being very stressed out and thinking about the things that you need to get done or want to get done. So in the mornings, or when you're looking at your schedule for the next day, schedule yourself for one major task, one medium task, and one small task. And start with the big one first, then go to the small task, and then go to the medium. So we start with the big, go to the small, go to the medium. And there may be a whole bunch of other little things that you have to do in between. Maybe it's preparing your lunch or preparing your children's lunch and getting them off to school and picking them up off the bus. All those things will weave its way in without overwhelm when you just set those 3 things up for the day. And honestly, if it's a really big task, just do a big task and a small task. And that small task can be done to split the time that's allocated for the big task. So try that. That's a really great mindset technique. And do one of the breathing techniques in the morning or whenever you're doing your schedule to regulate your nervous system. So body set and mindset together. And just remembering, regulate your day from first thing in the morning, because those cortisol spikes can really interfere with your ability to get restful and rejuvenated sleep so that you function optimally each and every day with clarity and focus. So if you have learned something new in this podcast, if something resonated with you, subscribe and share it with a friend so we can get this information out to the people who can use it the most. And you can add a comment, put a question in. I'd love to answer that. Follow me on social media. You can find me across all platforms as Maria Brown Breathwork, and that is on TikTok and Facebook and another YouTube channel and Instagram and LinkedIn. So you can find me in all these different platforms, always giving different techniques for regulating your nervous system. And just follow me and you will never miss a trick. And you can also register for my free Wednesday webinars. Those are the first 3 Wednesdays of every month. And you can learn more techniques on how to regulate your nervous system. So before I say goodbye, I just want to say thank you. And I'm so grateful that you're here. And just remember that regulating your nervous system is not only a gift that you give to yourself, but it's a gift that you give back to the world. So I will see you in the next podcast. Have a fabulous week.
Hey, it's Maria Brown. Turn the volume up now. We're dialing in your day from the inside out. Regulate your nervous system.